All right, today we're looking at a chicken coop, and this one is a beauty. Check it out. It's got a nice big external enclosure and a nice cozy, pretty much fully covered enclosure at the back here with some nice laying boxes. It's almost ready to go for some new chickens. But why are we looking at a chicken coop? That's because today we're going to put in an automatic chicken coop door that closes at dusk and reopens again at dawn all by itself. So we've got a nice locking external door here, but then you have to get up nice and early to open it, and that's no good. So I was thinking about putting the chicken coop door on the existing door, but that's going to have too much movement and it might knock around a bit and get damaged. So we're going to put it on a structure that doesn't move, and this side here looks perfect, away from the water. On the other side, there's nothing else here to get in the way. So we've got our Coop Secure automatic chicken door. I've installed one of these at my own house a few years ago, and it was fantastic. Didn't give me 1 ounce of trouble. So in the box, we've got our little note there from the guys at Coop Secure. And this would be the control panel with the battery-powered unit and all the bits and pieces you need to lift up your door. It's got a little gearbox in there, all high-quality components, all made in Australia, in Tasmania. Now, I did order this with the door kit as well to make life easy. So I've got myself some extra screws and bits and pieces from Bunnings. So these didn't come with the kit. I got these separately, especially for this job. So we've got an extra bit of string and screws and a bit of stardust. And we've got batteries included as well. That's quite rare. Some instructions. Probably best to read those. And yes, I ordered the door kit just to make life a bit easier. You can make your own door. They've got the weights specified on the website. So it comes with a couple of aluminium runners and a nice laser cut aluminium door panel, which weighs just enough to operate the door very efficiently. So that'll make life easy. I've got all the bits and pieces we need here. Now I'm going to use my cordless grinder, and we're going to cut a hole out in the coop, ready for the automatic door to go in. So the first thing we'll do is just lay out our door and runners, and we'll get some measurements to see how wide we need to cut the hole in the chicken coop side panel. So we'll just line up the tracks with the door, and then we'll get a rough measurement, and then we'll go and transfer that across to the chicken coop. Now you also get some extra screws if you're fixing to a timber coop, which is probably more common. And you also get a little business card. Here's all the details of the guys from Coop Secure in Tasmania. Now let's set up our little workbench here on top of the box. It's a bit wet today, a bit annoying. Should have brought a table. So I'm going to use these aluminium angles behind the guide tracks, and that's what I've got the screws, or they're actually little bolts actually, with the nuts and washers. We're going to sandwich that between the grill of the chicken coop, the mesh of the chicken coop. So it's about 220 millimeters. Grab our marker, and let's go measure out the center. A 220 millimeter wide hole opening. Opening. So we'll put some marks on the mesh, go out from the center, and that's pretty much our 220 millimeter hole that we're going to cut. All right, just double check that does fit. Always best to measure a few times before you make the cut, because it's very hard to put it back once you cut it off. And that sits perfectly flush in between the mesh sections. That's going to be fantastic. Let's get our cordless grinder out and let's cut a hole. Of course, always remember your safety gear. Minimum requirement is some good safety glasses when you're grinding. Just nip the bottom off and then we should have our hole done in the mesh. Okay, there's our door done. That's the piece of mesh that we've just cut out. Let's line up our door, make sure everything still fits. And that looks pretty good. So now we're going to cut out our aluminium angle that goes behind the mesh. And then we're going to sandwich the runners onto this. And then we'll trim it up later and make it all nice. That fits pretty good. So the runner's just going to go in front of that and sandwich into the mesh with our stainless steel bolts and nuts with washers, and that should work quite good. So there you go, perfect. Trim that down, put some holes in it, and we'll bolt that all together. So the runners do have holes, I think, or did I drill this one? No, I think I drilled this one first. And then we drill through the aluminium angle behind it. And we'll put some bolts and washers and nuts on those. So I'm using stainless steel, so they shouldn't rust. So we'll sandwich those together, put our bolts and nuts on, and do those up. So just nip them up temporarily. We'll slide our door in and we'll put our other runner on and get the other one done as well. So there's our first guide runner done, all sandwiched on nicely. That's our base done for our door. Now we can put our other runner on the other side. So we do the same thing on this one. We've got our bottom bolt in. So we can put our door in and get the tolerance lined up so our door slides nice and easy. So you don't want it too loose because the door will go a bit jagged and sideways and get jammed. But you also don't want it too tight. You probably just want a millimetre or so each side. It's a bit loose, so we'll just tap that in a slight smidge. And that seems perfect. Slides perfectly, gravity does the job. So let's put our control box on now. So I'm going to use some offcuts of the aluminium angle behind the control box. We'll pop our door in. And yep, that slides very nicely, just enough clearance there. And there will be room for adjustment in the future if anything does move. But yeah, that slides really, really good. So now we've double checked everything. We've got our extra bolts in there. We're going to put some more in the middle here. And now we're ready for our control box. So we'll mount that about there, and that should give us maximum clearance for the door. So there's holes in the control box. Take off your front panel, your clear cover, and you can put some screws in each corner. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to sandwich our control box between the mesh and the aluminium angle. So let's cut this to size, put some holes in it, and mount that to the top of the mesh. And then we need to attach the door. So it's got a little swivel on the bottom there. They do include some extra string, but I'm going to use this black wire here. So here's some instructions if you want to follow it to the T on what's recommended. So instead of using the extra piece of string supplied, I've got this nice black coated wire here I'm going to use to attach the door to the string swivel. So that clears the mesh quite nicely. And once we attach that, we can squish that down a bit as well. So that'll give us the best clearance. Now the batteries are included as well. We're going to pop those in so we can lower the string down and make the job a bit easier. So they come with good Panasonic batteries too. So it takes 4 AA batteries. And these lasted me, when I had mine, geez, over a year. Maybe even 18 months before I sold the Coop. And I don't think I changed the batteries once. So there's your light sensor. I think it's quite sensitive. The light probably goes through my finger. So I'll grab this piece of paper here and we'll cover that up to see if it goes down. Now, the reason it's recommended to attach your door first, because you do need some weight on the string, which pulls the limit switch down, which activates the stopper. So as you can see, until you've got some weight on there to pull the limit switch slide across that's spring loaded, it won't activate. So we're going to put something with a bit of weight on there so we can get that string down. So as you can see, that limit switch slides across when it's under extra pressure from the winding of the string. Let's add a bit of weight there so we can get our string down to the door level. I mean, you can attach your door to the string if you've got an extra pair of hands. I'm just doing it this way, it's a bit easier for me. So now we've got the weight on there, we can lower that down to our door level. And also to make sure we haven't mounted it too high. So it looks like there's plenty of string on there. You could mount this up way higher if you wanted to. And we'll just pop out the battery because this will auto wind up in the daytime. So we'll take off our wire and let's attach it to the swivel. So we're just making up a little loop, giving it a test run, and then we'll properly secure that on. All right, that's good enough to give it a test run. Let's pop our battery back in, and the door should hopefully lift up. Look at that. We've almost got our automatic chicken coop door completed. So there you go, our first lift of our chicken coop door. So we'll just cover that sensor and see if we can get it to go down. Here we go. And this is fully adjustable for different lighting conditions. I think it's got up to a 12-hour delay as well. So just adjust it to suit your chicken needs. There you go, closes and opens, no problem at all. Super smooth. It's working fantastically. So now all we need to do is put the weatherproof cover on the front there, and we're pretty much done. I'm just gonna go grab a quick bite to eat, and we'll come back after lunch and finish this off. All right, so I've had a quick lunch. Let's go and finish this chicken coop door off. Yes. So there she is, pretty much almost finished. So there's our weatherproof cover. It's got 4 screws. Let's get our Wera pop-up screwdriver. I carry this with me at all times. It's super handy. We'll do these up nice and evenly so we get a good seal. If you want to see more about the Wera screwdriver with the bits inside, I think I've got a video on that. Just search Wera screwdriver under my channel, you might find it there. So there's our attachment with our black wire. And that's working fantastic. Be good if the weather was a bit better today. Lucky these are fully weatherproof. All right, let's go through some tools that I used today to put this into the mesh chicken coop. We've got our cordless grinder to cut the hole in the mesh. You need one of those. An impact driver or cordless drill you'll need. I used a pair of pointy nose pliers for the black wire. You definitely need a tape measure and a marker. And I use 1 drill bit out of here, so you need a drill bit. Some aluminium angle I used, a pair of side cutters, and some various fixings, our stainless steel bolts, nuts and washers. And of course our black wire, but you do have the string included for the attachment to the door. And that's how you attach the box and door kit to your chicken coop. Now I reckon this box here that the control panel came in would make an excellent cover to do some more tests. This should hopefully block out all the lights. Now I'm going to use some food grade silicone spray on the runners. This will make it extra slippery and smooth, and it's safe for your chickens. So I do this on roller door tracks, but I don't need to use food grade stuff on that. All right, let's remove our box and have our first official opening of our Coop Secure automatic chicken door. And look at that, that's coming up beautifully. Now I did put an extra piece of aluminium angle along the bottom just to make it extra secure and look a bit nicer. That'll stop anything putting their paws underneath the door and lifting it open. So we'll cover up that light sensor again, which is fully adjustable. Depends when you want it to close exactly. So yeah, that's how you fully install your Coop Secure automatic chicken door. Beauty. And as always, thanks for watching. If you liked what you see, hit the like button. Don't forget to leave a comment below. That would help my channel grow. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to my channel. That would be fantastic.